Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brennan Decima, owner of Decima Wealth Consulting. This video, we're going to unpack a newer solution in the market, direct indexing or separately managed accounts. And there's a lot of focus from major financial institutions to get more and more investors in these. And the rationale behind this is it gives investors more transparency. It allows them to hold stocks directly, and it allows for tax loss harvesting and more tax alpha. All true. The other benefit of it is if you're someone paid in company stock and you have a large amount in a sector, a company, an industry, buying a mutual fund, they don't care about that. So the direct index or the SMA can customize and remove securities. So if I have an executive that works in pharmaceuticals, they've got a ton of exposure to a pharmaceutical stock, the direct index can say, hey, we just won't hold pharmaceuticals because you already have enough in it. So that customization is valuable to a lot of executives. However, a lot of my executives have shifted to retirement. And in retirement, simplicity is invaluable in my opinion, because what an SMA does is it's typically designed for a segment of the market, large cap dividends or large cap growth or small cap or international. So if you want a diversified portfolio with SMAs, you may end up with 200, 500, 1,000 different securities. So yes, it's transparent, but that doesn't mean that it's beneficial, right? There's a reason all of the parts are not exposed in all of our appliances. That can be very overwhelming to see every moving piece, right? We just want to know, does it work and what's the bottom line? So in retirement, simplicity is key. 2, the bracket tends to drop substantially in retirement. So all of that tax loss harvesting might not be nearly as impactful as it was when you were in a high bracket working. Typically your restrictions for holding company stock fall off when you leave. So the ability to sell and diversify becomes a little bit easier. So I always look at, hey, how do we have a very simple plan where either you can do it or someone else can do it, and you can explain it to your family. For a lot of my clients, it's very difficult to explain to a spouse or the kids, hey, here's my 800 stocks. If you want to do it and not hire someone, here's what they are, right? As opposed to having a dozen ETFs or mutual funds, very easy to say, here's what they do, here's why we have them, here's what you do if something happens to me. But from a large financial institution, they're banking on that. It's retention, right? It's very difficult to take back over control 800 holdings, so it keeps the revenue for the company going much longer. So I think the key here is if you're a high income, high earner, SMAs play a really, really good role. If you're in retirement and you're in the 15, 22, 24% bracket, you don't have a concentrated position, we're focused on simplicity and understanding, and we're preparing if something were to happen for our spouse or our kids, SMAs may no longer be the right avenue. You can get a lot more diversification with something much less complex with much less cost by just holding ETFs. So again, for the right investor, direct indexing and SMAs, they absolutely play a role. In retirement, that clientele becomes much more limited. So hopefully this is helpful. If you like content like this, please subscribe. We upload new videos a couple times a week, and we have more information on decimawealth.com. And I thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.